What's up, guys? We're back. What? It's got a crazy fun video today. This one I can't even deny is going to be a hot video. What do you think?
I'm excited. I'm excited just to talk about it. Really, at the end of the day, I'm pumped.
I'm excited to get all these videos rolling. We got a lot of cool ideas. We've just been so busy, and what better way to top it off with the talk about, you say it.
Effective. I mean, today is the launch of the new Tom DeLonge Stratocaster. Well, not
Wait
new,
a minute.
but
What? I didn't know these were coming.
You didn't?
No. What's? There was no leaks. There was no one talking about these.
Best kept secret in the industry.
Yeah.
I think, with all the leaks and stuff that came out, I think it just kind of shows just how excited people really are for this. I think it's safe to say, you and I have, and this isn't anything that's whatever, but like you and I have kind of known about the Strat re-release for quite some time.
Sure.
At first, when I didn't really believe it, I'm not gonna lie, because a re-release of the Strat, really, like in 2023 or 2022, whatever it was. But nonetheless, I mean, geez. So excited, like so excited. It's been 20 years since the last one, since it finally came out.
Probably more than that, like 21, 22 years. Let's just address a couple of things just overall about this Strat. One thing, Stefan and myself, we really tried to push for white. We know everybody wants a white one, but the whole point of this is to be a re-release.
Yeah.
So like when they re-release, instruments as like a tribute, you've got to do the same thing. You've got to have the same colors, the same specs for the most part. We'll talk about the little differences, but can we address one elephant in the room? And I think you explained this better than me, Stefan. Why the Strat? Like, Tom's playing Starcasters now. Why are we getting a Strat re-release?
Well, if I had to guess one, I think, if you go to the Reddit page, if you go to Instagram, anything, the most, custom and stuff that people are making right now are still the Strats. It's been, like we said, over 20 years. It doesn't matter. People are still going out there, going to Warmouth, going to, getting Fender Strats and converting them themselves. And I think this was a really smart move on Tom and on Fender's part to re-release these things. Now, what are the resale values roughly going for the ones that came out before? They're pretty high.
Yeah, there was one point where some mint condition ones were getting close to the $3,000 US dollars mark, but I would say roughly they sit around the $1,500 to $2,000 range.
Yeah.
And just to add, I have no insider information on these Starcasters, but if you think about it, Stefan and I's first video, we talked about the Emily Wolf guitar. And that guitar, the only difference was the color. It was white instead of black. And it still took over a year to get that thing out. So my guess, just a guess, would be there's a lot of logistics involved with getting a Starcaster. If there were one to come out, it's going to take a while. So thank you to Fender for giving us something like this in the meantime that gets me hyped. I know when I first saw these, Stefan, I was thinking, I don't know what color I want. I want them all.
Yeah. That's the thing. People are so nostalgic for things right now. So, and with Blink being super popular right now, they go back to when they were teenagers or kids, and this was the guitar. Like, I mean, I remember when these things came out, and going into Long and McQuaid in Canada, Guitar Center for you guys in the States, but and just seeing it just hung up with like the Hoppus bass beside it, and it was amazing. It was super, super cool. It's so, just the one pickup, one volume knob, doesn't matter. Like the colors that it came in, everything about this guitar, I was all about. And, it's funny, but I think I've said this in another video, but I always wanted one of these when they were released, but I didn't have the money to afford it. And so I couldn't get it. I had to get it after the fact, resell. And so these being re-released is such a smart move from Fender. And I mean, I know we're kind of in a little bit of a bubble when it comes to Blink, but I mean, how many people have we seen pre-order, every color, every whatever.
Right.
It was funny, little side note, when we were in San Diego, Brian did a little bit of a test, just going up to random people. Hey, do you play guitar? Yeah. Are you gonna get the Stratocaster? Maybe. If they re-release the Strat, would you get it? 100%. So like people always hold on to that nostalgia, and I mean, the people that do know me, I do collect retro video games as well. Not so much anymore, but it's that nostalgic, right? It's like, where were you when this came out? Where were you when, know? And it's such a smart move.
Yeah. My favorite story about the Tom DeLonge Strat was one that I read about a dude had a Hispanic mother, and she loved learning to play guitar, and she bought a green one because she thought it was a beautiful guitar, and this is 20 years ago, and she learned to play guitar on a green Tom DeLonge Strat. She had no idea who Blink was, and he was like, Mom, do you know whose signature guitar that was? And she didn't care. She said she liked that it was a hardtail, easy to learn on, the frets felt good, and I love that story because it's a guitar that can appeal to more than just Blink fans, in my opinion. I
agree, and I mean, with that Invader too, like it does appeal to a pretty big audience, with everything, and even just looking at these, right? Like even though we kind of knew about this for a little bit, it's still so surreal seeing Tom hold a Strat. I mean, it's such a cool thing to see, and I know. There's been interviews and stuff where he says it's, he's 6'4", it's small on him, whatever. It doesn't matter when you see, the live shows from like, Chicago 2001 or the music videos or whatever. It's just, it's just such a cool visual anyways, because it's such a vibrant color. It's that one pickup with the accent with like the black dots on the Invader, like all that stuff, right? It was, as for me when I was like 15, 16, huge, absolutely huge. So again, super pumped that they are re-releasing it. It is funny though. I know you and I have talked quite a bit that if they re-release the Strat, would you get it? And we both were like, I don't know. And then honestly, it's just there'd be
on the hype train. I am there. A lot of people were wondering, like, why did Tom hold a blue one here? We found out it was just because the blue one matches his blue Padres hat. So.
And I mean, the visual looks good, right? It really, really does. So let's kind of get a little bit into it, right? So right off the hop, it's very reminiscent of what we're used to, what we saw back in 2001. Again, right off the hop, you do see that the neck plate doesn't say Tom DeLonge in that font. It's now like the Tom's signature scribble that he does with the character, which is cool. It shows that it is a newer model. It's not something that it's a full, it's with the old signature in the back. So again, very, very, it took very much, it's the same as what you're used to from before that people have been asking for. So what do you think?
I just want to say on the neck plate, it's very similar. Stefan, I don't know if you have it within reach, but the Hoppus Jag bass has that laser etched neck plate. Cool, he can show it. Right there. And what does that feel like when you run your finger over it? It's like it's been carved in almost, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good quality, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
and it's cool. I think that, like, actually, I never even thought of that it is pretty cool, the fact that the older models had the Mark Hoppus or Tom DeLonge, and the new models have like their kind of signature, right? The logo. Yeah, that's really cool. I never thought of that.
Yeah. Of course, if you're looking at the photos above my head, it has the same vintage tuners. I know everybody on the planet's going to want to swap these to locking, but those are actually really good tuners. They stay in tune really well. I'm a fan. Some custom shop models even have very similar tuners. It looks like the logo's slightly different, and then of course it's got the American bridge that everybody has wanted from the beginning.
It was a good move on their part.
I don't know if that was the move because, let's make them happy, or if that was the move of this is the bridge we've got. But either way, I love it.
Yeah.
It looks like the same knob, and everything else looks pretty much the same.
Visually, it does. Great. Yeah, it does look like it is pretty. Pretty
Two features I should bring up is a satin neck instead of a gloss neck, and then it's actually got black cavities. If you were to take the pick guard off and look inside the cavities, that's shielding paint, I believe, but they're black now.
So for those who don't know, Brian, so why is that have any sort of importance or any sort of relevance or anything that people would even care about.
It's just to reduce hum, to have some of that shielding paint, so that way, obviously the pickup gets grounded because it goes under the bridge and it touches the bridge to keep it from buzzing, but the shielding paint is just like an extra layer to help.
Yeah. So one other cool thing that Fender did do that, I think, with combination from To the Stars is releasing, guitar straps to match the guitar that you get, the picks to match the guitar you get, and a guitar cable. I don't know. I'm a sucker for stuff like this, and I think that's really, really cool that this is on. And this is all like, if you want to buy it, you can buy it. If you don't, you don't. So it's not like they're forcing it on you. But I think this is really, really cool that they are doing this.
Believe it or not, my favorite one is the black. For whatever color guitar you get, I think the black would look so cool.
Yeah, I think so too. I really like the black. But again, it's really cool that this is even a thing. Like, it just shows that they are going, all out on this. And I mean, why not? It's a perfect time to capitalize on, Blink as a whole, Tom back as a full-time guitar player, as opposed to, in Angels and Airwaves, when it was, every couple songs he'd pull out the guitar. Really cool. I think that's a very kind of smart move. So here's the spec sheets. On the left, you see the 2001 model compared to the 2023 limited re-release. You did talk about the bridge being different. We talked about the neck plate, changing just the logos. The neck being satin. I have seen a few people kind of upset with the neck being satin. Personally, I'm more than happy that it's satin. I think having that smoothness is just personal opinion, but I really like it. But is there anything else that's changed with it?
Well, you've got one of Tom's Strats in the background, and they sand the neck, so I would think a satin feel would be more accurate than a gloss. In my opinion, I think that's a great move. The logo, it's hard to describe, but it does look a little different. Have you noticed that? Like the headstock logo, it's just like a little bit different, but I do like it.
I haven't noticed personally, but I didn't really look, though, if I'm being honest.
I will take a look on it. But everything else is spot on. You're still getting the gig bag that you got a long time ago. And guys, let's talk about the price just for a second. US dollars, it's $12.99. There's so many people that are getting upset about the price. Like, I pulled this up on my phone just to show an example. This is the Jim Root Jazzmaster. It's $1,800 for a made in Mexico. This is, unfortunately, these are the prices of these instruments now, and I think $12.99 is more than fair. They were $500 in 2002, but it's been 21 years, and inflation. Yeah, and I know somebody could throw an inflation calculator at me and be like, well, that would mean only $1,000. Yeah, it's close enough, and I think it's worth the price. If you were to go to Warmouth and buy every part, you're going to spend upwards of $1,500 to $2,000, and you're getting a legitimate signature model from Fender, in my opinion, at a great price. I got one coming from Musician's Friend. It's not here yet, otherwise I would be holding it, but I'm super stoked.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I think this is, I think I've said it a few times in this video, but a really, really good move on Fender's part. I think the price point, to be fair, I think is pretty good. You are still getting that rosewood neck that a lot of people thought that if they did do the re-release that it wouldn't wouldn't be. So you're still getting that. You're still getting, the Invader pickup. You're still getting everything except, a better bridge. In my opinion, I think, anyways, like I said, a satin neck. Sorry. I don't know. I'm still shocked that today's the release date for it. Like, I'm just still shocked that this legit is happening. It's so cool that they're doing this.
And I guess the last point that I wanted to address, Stefan, for me personally, is the limited edition part. Now, we've talked to Fender, we've talked to Tom's camp, we've talked to everybody we can to try to figure out, what does this mean? Does this mean 300, 500, 1,000? What does this mean? The way that guitars are made now is kind of like a wave. So there is a wave one that is being made, and judging off how fast and well this wave one sells will determine how many are made in the next wave or any waves after. So like, for example, if you guys don't buy this guitar and it's not popular, there could only be one wave. If you keep buying it and it does really well, we could see multiple. So I don't even think there's a finite answer for, hey, this is how many there are. I tried to dig around with some of my connections or whatever about how many were made in the early 2000s. I got somewhere around the 10,000 mark.
That's crazy.
There's no way to really know. But just remember, like, I think it means limited as long as it'll sell.
Per wave,
if it's not selling, then it's out. I don't think it's going to be one of those guitars that's just forever made.
I think you're right. I think they're also doing what like the Hoppus camp did for the basses. It's if the demand is there, they'll make an extra batch. But if you're on the fence with this guitar, I really do think that you should pull the trigger and grab it, because you don't know what that next wave might look like. The next wave might look, okay, well, the green sells the most, so we're going to make more green, less yellow, or less black, or less blue, or whatever.
Right.
So if there is a certain color, certain whatever you want, grab it. And it's funny, too, because we get a lot of messages, which is awesome, just saying, we pre-ordered all 4 colors, or whatever. And it's just crazy that we're, you know, if the beginning of the year, when before anything even happened, it was so hard to anticipate something like this would be coming back, and it's awesome to see, and people are really taken to it.
And even if it turns out to be this is just to tie people over until if we get a Starcaster, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
And some of the people on the inside that have given me, this is how many numbers Guitar Center gets, this is how many Sweetwater, this is how. I don't really feel comfortable giving out the numbers because I don't work for those companies, but I will just say it seems like really low numbers for what this guitar is. So make sure, if you're on the fence about getting one, that you should buy one.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. You know, when you told me what the numbers were, it was you know, kind of low. And whether that was just the first batch of inventory or not, we don't know. But I think if you were on the fence for it, pull the trigger. If you
where
have the
else
funds.
are you gonna get, if you love Blink and Tom and playing punk rock music, where else are you gonna get a guitar in a rad color with a cool pickup that's $12.99? I mean, what a deal.
Yeah,
under $1,500, and you can say in a few years that they don't make it anymore. Let's go.
Yeah.
What color you want? I'm getting green, by the way. Like, that's the one that's coming in for me. What about you?
I want the green. That's kind of the one. But I mean, realistically, I don't think any color you pick is a bad color, which is funny to say, because usually when something like this comes out for, like, let's say an iPhone or whatever, people gravitate towards the color that they really, really want. But even for me,
even if you're like I don't like one pickup kind of guy, look at that neck, man. It's a 21 fret. The neck shape feels amazing. The jumbo frets feel great. Put more pickups in it if you want. $12.99. Go put in whatever pickups you want and play that guitar. It comes in a rad color. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's there's not much more to say, I think, to it. I think that's
thank you, Fender.
It's awesome. Thank you, Fender.
And if you're watching this, Fender, give us our shell pink Mark Hoppus jazz bass back, please. I am ready to buy it. I have my phone. I will buy it right now. Let's go.
It's the next evolution, It's getting the Hoppus basses back.
Yeah, give me the Hoppus jazz and shell, and I am in.
Yeah, or do the hot pink or whatever the shade of pink.
If that's possible.
Scully is, Awesome. Again, this has been a long time coming. We're like, you guys, everybody should be really excited for this. This is such a cool time to be a Blink fan, really. I mean, it's very reminiscent of the late 90s, early 2000s when these Strats came in. And if you guys do get one, please send us some messages, tag us. More than happy to reshare anything you guys.
There's gonna be a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, so excited. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We will see you in the next video. Bye for now.
Bye.